No matter what your goals and dreams are or what your source of happiness is, absolutely none of them is possible without the existence of others. You cannot buy and sell, love or hate, nor give and take without someone else. 100% of your relationships are with people. 100% of your customers, employees, or bosses are people. And 100% of the help, love, and attention you receive are from other people. If you don't understand people, you don't understand life. Welcome to the first ever Face Reading Summit. Well, we are live right now, and for the next 7 days at 8:30 p.m. GMT +8 for about 2 to 3 hours every single day, we are going live, and me and my team are going to be here. We're going to talk about face reading. Now, this next couple of days, make sure you get your notepad ready and get your questions ready, because me and my team, we're gonna have core trainings on face reading. Now, if you ever wanted to learn more about people, to understand people just by reading certain features on their face, well, this is the right place for you. Okay, in the next couple of days, starting today, about 2 to 3 hours every single day, we are going to talk about face reading. And of course, there will be core trainings, and then there will be deep dive sessions and anchor trainings every single day. And there will be expert panel speakers. All right, so each day there will be a speaker on a specific subject, and you can interact live with us. You will be able to see a live Q&A happening right now, so you can key your questions here. My team and all the experts here who are participating live right now will be able to answer you. And of course, there are quizzes and there are prizes. There are going to be giveaways. So make sure that you participate in the entire core training and watch the anchor training. Take notes, because when we throw out several questions and if you answer correctly, you're going to get a prize. And of course, this entire session is all free and it is live, and you need to participate, and make sure you click on the share button and share this with all your friends. Now, take note of the chat roll. Please leave a comment below. My team, the speakers, myself will personally read through them. And make sure you check back to this site. Now, of course, please make sure that you save this URL so you can get back to here, just in case you need to get back at any time or you missed out any of the sessions, because there will be daily updates. Let me give you the URL. It's joeyup.com/FR Summit. Okay, it's joeyup.com/FR Summit. And last but not least, enjoy this summit. Be present and share this with all your friends. The world we live in today was built on dreams that are powered by people. Now, I'm not just talking about the technology or trends. At the core of everything that we ever want in life and everything that we'll ever need in life comes from either ourselves or someone else out there. 100% of your relationships are with people. 100% of your customers, employees, or bosses are people. 100% of the help, love, and attention you receive are from other people. If you don't understand people, you don't understand life. If you don't understand people, you don't understand business. Great leaders and successful individuals know that the key to understanding and influencing people equals power. They know that these connections with other people is critical to one's success in both their personal and professional life. But we live in a fast-paced world with competitive workplaces and turbulent economic conditions, and other people often do not readily and comfortably reveal who they are. But what if there is a way to read people like an open book? An easy method for you to scale and amplify the success that you already have with people to captivate any group of audience or even just a single person. A tool for you to read the unspoken and the underlying motives when dealing with others. A powerful yet easy to use system to scale your most important aspect in your life, to win with people. With this tool, you can go after the job that you want, the relationship of the life that you want, and get it. You can even take your profession or the intimate relationships that you have and massively improve them. You can almost take any situation in your life and make it all work for you. All this can work and will work only because you have now understood how to read people and subsequently learn how to captivate and positively influence them. The system that I'm talking about is the Chinese art of face reading. Hi, I'm Joey Yap, and I'm going to teach you this system in this training video. I'm going to share with you the shortcuts to hack human behaviors based on an age-old metaphysics system and the secrets for taking charge of your interactions at home, at work, and in almost any social situation. In this 4-part training video, you will learn the first ever comprehensive art of mianxiang or face reading and use it to captivate and influence anyone in your life. So stay with me in this program, download the accompanying notes, and let's begin a completely new approach to building connections and winning with people.
Practical, funny, with a lot of humor and very human. I think he's very, very human in his kind of teaching and very easy to understand.
I like Joey's teaching style because he's very practical. He gives shortcuts. I love his style. He's very straightforward. He's the best in the field that I know.
Joey's teaching style is very interesting simply because he's able to communicate to you directly the data that you need. So it's very easy to understand. The keyword is very easy to understand and absorb everything.
Now, if you're still watching this video, that means you are here because of one of the following 4 reasons. Number 1, the first group of people is what I call the professions group. You're in a profession or a business that requires you to deal with people on a daily basis. It could be you're in human resource, sales, or maybe even you're the CEO of a multinational company. You want to know who these people really are in the inside, and most important of all, what influences their behavior and what makes them tick. Or perhaps you're challenged when it comes to identifying and dealing with difficult or manipulative people. Now, if you're in the profession group, you know that understanding people equals power. The second group of people are called introverts. Now, a show of hands, how many of you consider yourself introverts? How many of you are so introverted that even putting up your hand becomes difficult? Me too. A lot of people didn't know that I actually belong to that category, although you see me standing on stage presenting to a lot of people, but that is just what I trained myself to do. In fact, that was one of the main reasons that mooted me to actually learn face reading in the first place. Now, if you're an introvert and speaking or communication isn't your main thing, or you feel awkward at networking events, probably thinking of what others are thinking about you, well, you're in the introvert group. So you really have a problem in getting to know people, trying to fit in, breaking the ice, making a good first impression. You're not great at conversations, and therefore you need to find a better way to understand people and how to subtly influence other people. Now, let me assure you, face reading is easier than you think. You can speed read facial features and use them to predict people's emotions. The third group of people are called the empathetic group. Now, the empathetic group are people who are trying to help someone that they care about but unable to do so by conventional means. Someone under your care, for example, could be silently suffering from depression or struggling with self-doubt or pain. You could also be a life coach or mentor or teacher who needs a better way of engaging your students. Or it could be your spouse or your partner who you deeply care about but just fail to understand on a deeper level. Or perhaps it's someone close to you but is either too sensitive or too unapproachable or outright stubborn, causing all forms of communication breakdown. Now, if you didn't resonate with the first 3 groups, that means you belong to the last group of people. I call this group the humanistic group. Now, you're in this group because you're someone who are interested generally in human behavior, and human psychometrics absolutely fascinates you. You want to know if someone is honest or dishonest just by reading their face. You want to learn all the non-verbal communication, reading the micro expressions, all forms of physiognomy, just to understand who we really are or how we're different and why are we here. And one of your goals and purpose in life is to learn an art so that you can guide and influence other people to a better future. Or perhaps, ultimately, you want to be able to tell someone's destiny just by reading the features on his or her face. So there you go. These are the 4 groups of people. Either you belong to the professions group, or you belong to the introverts, or maybe you are part of the empathetic group, or perhaps the humanistic group. Now, most, if not 100% of the problems that we have in this world are people problems. Our lives are filled with many challenges. All of us struggle with, personal problems such as stress, depression, self-doubt, addiction, worries, and our health, finances, and maybe about our future. Our relationships with our partners, children, and other family members are often riddled with conflict, and our relationships with our friends, neighbors, bosses, and co-workers are often challenging as well. Well, all of these problems are complex and their solutions elusive. Yet they share a common link, a common denominator. For the most part, they are all caused by human beings. Well, most of the problems that we face within ourselves or our relationships with other people and in society at large are caused by people. Granted, a few of these problems don't require human collision, like tornadoes and earthquakes, for example, come to mind, but most do. Human behavior is by far the single largest cause of difficulties that each of us experience in life. Now, most problems are people problems, and the people who cause our problems are quite often us. This training series is made up of 4 parts. I will be releasing these 4 videos over the next couple of days, so you must take note of the link that you're watching this video in and check in regularly. Now, if you fall under one of the 4 groups that I mentioned above, you're going to be finding very specific information that will only be applicable to you. The way this 4-part training is designed is going to gradually take you deeper into the century-old vast topic of Mian Xiang, the art of face reading. Now, a few important things that I need you to take note of before we begin. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to do the following 4 things before I can give you this free training on face reading. Number 1, there is a private Facebook group that we've set up to supplement these training videos. I want you to pause this video right now, find the link in the comments above or below this video and click on it. I'll be sharing some training debriefs, additional live Q&A videos, and downloadable goodies in that Facebook group. Now, if you're not on Facebook, then all you need to do is to save or remember this link that you see on your screen right now. It's joeyup.com/winning. Number 2, in each training video, there will be downloadable training notes. I want you to download them right after watching these videos. These notes will save you a heck of a lot of time when you want to recall important information. Number 3, I want you to pick up your phone right now and take 3 photos. 1 frontal view of your face, 1 of the left side, and another of the right side of your face. This will allow you to see and read your own facial features as you go along with this training contents. Last but not least, number 4, you need to find someone to practice face reading with. So invite a friend by sharing this video and get him or her to share with you the 3 face photos that they have taken. And the 2 of you or the 3 of you can go through this training video together. I promise you, you're going to learn a lot about them than you have ever imagined. And who knows, through what you'll be learning, you'll probably reveal something that Dave never knew about you too. Sounds good? So, let's begin. I speak to more than 50,000 people each year at my live events. And I have my own annual TV show. Each year, I'm invited to speak on networks such as CNN, Bloomberg, and CNBC. The number 1 thing that gets people excited and never fails to fascinate them is the subject of the art of face reading. Man has been fascinated by the study of physiognomy since the beginning of civilization, and the Chinese have been researching, analyzing and practicing the art of face reading, also known as mianxiang, since the time of the Yellow Emperor, and that is somewhere between the years of 2698 to 2598 BC. Well, it's an art born out of the observation of the physical appearance of a person, the shapes, the lines, the molds, the bone structure, the features, and even the qi color on a person's face. Now, mianxiang is based on a branch of Chinese metaphysics also known as physiognomy. The art of Chinese face reading shares similar foundations with the art of feng shui or traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture that has been passed down through the generations and still is a thriving art today. What they found was that a person's physical appearance, especially on the face, is a reflection of what's really on the inside. But before any of you should take a leap of faith and blindly jump into face reading, let's take a cold, hard look at some truths and why we'd even be remotely interested to experiment or to test this on our lives. I want to address some of these concerns right out of the gates. Now, we've been taught not to stereotype or to discriminate people, and that making judgments of people in general means you're not a nice person. Now, I'm sure that most of you would have heard of the old adage that never judge a book by its cover. But I want to ask you an honest question here. Was there ever a time that you thought to yourself, damn, I was wrong about that person. I never thought that he'd be that sort of person, and surely it doesn't look like he'd do something like this. In other words, was there ever a time when you were wrong about someone? If you had, that means you do judge, whether consciously or unconsciously, by appearances. There are three big reasons why we behave the way we do. Firstly, humans are instinctive by nature, and our instincts are designed to keep us safe and alive. Our ability to recognize threats and dangers have always been ingrained in our DNA, and this includes recognizing threats from other people as well. Secondly, technology itself. Think about this. In the Facebook and Instagram era, it's very easy to create a perception or a face that you want others to see. There are over 7 billion people in the world, and there are only two things that a normal person can be differentiated from. Number one, his or her face, and his or her thumbprints. Even our phones uses these two parameters to unlock our innermost secrets to our eyes. As human beings, we are phenomenally great at recognizing faces. Most people, or most of us, are probably bad with recognizing names, but if we put a face to it, it changes all the dynamics. And with the available technology today, we're seeing more faces in a single day compared to an entire year of someone living in the 20th century. Think about how much time you spend just on social media alone. Technology has tremendously increased our need to filter out people who matter and people who you think will not. It's just the way things work now. Thirdly, it's the society that we live in today. On a personal level, we could have thoughts in our minds that goes like this. He looks like a scumbag. Well, she looks like a gold digger. Or he looks like the scheming type. Or perhaps she looks like she's kind. The list goes on and on and on and on. So the question here isn't really about whether or not we are judging other people. The question really should be, are we doing this with the right skills and tools that deliver the correct information to us so that we are correctly reading what other people are actually thinking about, what their motives are, and more importantly, how we could positively influence them.
I find it very interesting actually. If we don't have a person's birth data, we usually base it on the face first, whether we want to know if the person is sincere or not. It is very powerful in the sense that being able to get the hindsight of what kind of the person we are faced with. So when I applied face reading, I found that it was easy for me to deal with people whom I would be interacting with It's easy for me to try to avoid people who I don't want to associate with. As they say, face-to-face is always the first base to any relationship, any encounter, in any activity. I can say that this thing applies.
During the days of the Imperial Dynasty, face reading was one of the sciences deployed by the Chinese strategists and imperial advisors to give guidance and strategic advice to the emperors. These advisors, who are Chinese scholars, would analyze and give detailed insights to the emperor before he decides if you want to even meet that person, so that you know what to say or how to say something to the other person. The art of face reading was very, very important at that time because although the Chinese scholars have other forms of destiny reading, such as Chinese purple star astrology or the 4 pillars of destiny or 八字, I'm sure some of you have heard of this before, but you know what, during imperial times, documentation was their biggest problem. A lot of these people back in those days didn't record their time of birth, or they just don't even know their date of birth. And even up to today, I'm sure you might have friends or people who were born in the 40s or earlier who just don't know their time of birth because it wasn't recorded. So if you're one of them, this art is perfect for you, because the ability to accurately forecast a person's character, nature and destiny without the need for the date and time of birth. And this brings us to the first lesson: a face never lies. In the old days, you didn't even have to submit a CV to get a job at the Imperial Magistrate. Let's face it, how many of you actually believe everything you see on someone's CV? Now, I'm not saying that you discredit CVs or track records entirely. Now, I'm just saying, what if you had a tool that helps you confirm something of far greater value? Some things that aren't even possible in expressing in writing, in numbers, or in black and white. Some things such as values, character, or even personality. I'm sure you really want to know if the person you're about to hire or about to work with has good nature, is compatible with you, or really is a good culture fit. These are intrinsic values that are not easily distinguishable or judgeable based on one's conversation or just from a written test. Now, even big companies and prominent business leaders today agree that they hire based on character before skills and talents. I like this system because, sometimes it's really less intrusive than really asking someone's date and time of birth. And amongst all the studies of Chinese metaphysics, mianxiang or face reading is by far the easiest to learn and apply. An astrology chart or a 八字 chart can be wrong because there were no records or because it was inaccurately recorded. A CV can be fake. A question-based personality test can be easily manipulated, or an Instagram or Facebook profile can be too biased and too easy to be selective, and an interview or a conversation can be riddled with probably lies and deceit. But the face never lies. I call this part the canvas of destiny. Now, we've established that we're all ready to learn face reading to a certain degree. So let's look at what we can tell, or at least been trying to tell, based on what we see on a person's face. Mianxiang or face reading encompasses techniques of assessing facial features. Just so you know, it's not just the Chinese who sought to develop this science of face reading. In ancient Greece, Hippocrates was amongst the first ever in the world in recorded history who sought to develop this very, very special art. Then, of course, there was Aristotle in his books. He too discusses the methods of evaluation on a person's character from reading facial features. Just so you know, there is a main difference between Chinese and Western face reading techniques, is that Chinese face reading techniques goes beyond just personality traits and character. Mianxiang or Chinese art of face reading also examines a person's talents, character, and even chi level. On any person's face, what you'll find is a systematic map of a person's destiny. According to the art of face reading, the entire face itself is divided into 100 points. A 100-point analysis is known as the Pak Soi To, or the 100-age map. These 100 points relate to, as the name implies, the ages from 1 to 100. Every phase is also divided into sections or sectors that govern different personality traits, character, talents, so on and so forth. So there are things like the 12 palaces. 12 palaces, for example, would be things like a wealth palace, a children palace, a relationship palace, a health palace, and also a career palace, so on and so forth. So there you go. So this is the canvas. These are the working parts or the components of the art of face reading. But my goal here is not to immediately turn you into an expert in face reading. Eventually we'll get there, of course, but the goal in lesson 1 of this training video is to do 2 things. Number 1 is for you to identify the types of people who are good, who have great capacity, who are able to help you so that you can associate yourself or to get connected with them. And the second purpose is to avoid the bad apples, to avoid those that could cause you harm, to avoid those that could be of deceit to you, who could bring you down. So if you can do these 2 things by the end of lesson 1, I think you've succeeded. So let me show you. So let's talk about noble people or looking for noble people. Now, there are 2 perspectives for this. If you see the following features that I'm about to share with you on yourself, that means you must learn how to activate this nobleman feature in you. If you don't see this in your own face, you don't have this noble feature, doesn't mean you're a bad person. Don't worry about that. It just means that you might want to look for other people that are close to you who, have these features. The more you have these people closer to you, these people can inspire, motivate, and help you get to where you want to be. So there are 3 key points I'm about to share with you to recognize nobility in a person. The first noble features is called the life palace. Now, there are many ways to read the life palace, but according to the ancient face reading text, it has the following saying: 看相必須看明宮，明宮在亮眉中. Translated in English, what it means is to start face reading, first start by analyzing the life palace. And the life palace lies between the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, so between left and right eyebrow, there is a space right here. This space right here is called the life palace. Now obviously everyone has a space between the eyebrows, but here's the trick. The first part is 2 finger space. Now check it out, 2 finger space. Your fingers, okay? You don't put someone else's fingers on your face. 2 finger space between your eyebrows right now. Try this out. And you want to be able to press it a little bit so it's fleshy. Remember, if it is bony, it's like you do it and there's like no flesh, that you can't do this at all, it's not a good life palace. So you want to check if it's fleshy, okay? And you want to ensure that there are no lines. Sometimes there are frown lines there. Now, if the frown lines on the side, it's okay. Frown lines right in between, that actually attacks the life palace, not so good. If you have 2 finger space, the space is broad, there's no moles, there's no scars, there's no discoloration that is on here, that means you have a very good spacious life palace. Now, life palace represents the quality of life, and the quality of life represents what you see in the inside. So if you're looking at someone's life palace and it's broad and spacious, what you see is someone who is optimistic, someone who has a vision of the future, which is positive. You want to have someone like this because generally they have good outcome or they are generally luckier. Now, this is a little bit tricky because if you look closer to someone's life palace, sometimes you could see a little bit of hair growing in between the life palace. Just a wee bit of hair, right? Sometimes even there's a small line that grows across that damages the life palace. Now that means there could be some hidden, maybe frustration, hidden pain, silent depression. So we like it to be spacious, 2 finger space. If it's 1 finger space between the life palace, this person could be a bit narrow-minded. Some people have 3 finger space between the eyebrows. 3 finger space meaning the life palace is really broad and really spacious. What does that mean? Someone who's pretty generous with life, right? You don't want to find someone with like 4 fingers or you put a whole hand in between the eyebrows. Now that is a too broad life palace. I mean, normally someone that sort of space is not so smart, yeah? So, not too broad. If it's too spacious, you're gonna have a big problem. That's first step, looking at the life palace. The second key point is to look at the person's eyes. Now, the eyes in Chinese face reading represents the heart. Now, what does it mean by represent the heart? Well, literally represents the heart. Someone who has a good heart will have a good set of eyes. What does it mean have a good set of eyes? This is what it says in the classic literature. The white and the black, meaning the pupils and the white part of the eyes, is very clear. The moment it is clear, everything that person do is very smooth and fortunate. So if you want to know whether someone is going through pain, you want to know someone that is in love, where do you think you're looking? You look at the person's eyes, right? How do you know someone is happy? Some people may not be smiling, but the eyes are smiling. The spirit in the eyes. That's why in the Chinese art of face reading, it's called ngan san, the spirit or the energy of the eyes. If the eyes are lighted, energetic, it tells you someone has got good fortune, someone who has everything going his or her way. But if you see the eyes, it's like, oh, it's really dull, and eyes are really slow moving. Usually they're going through a bad patch or they have difficulties. When someone's looking at you, the eyes have to be straight. If someone looks at you like, we say from side all the time, yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, it's like this. So it's always a side gaze and never a frontal face. You have a problem. That person is not being truthful. So that's another sign of nobility that you need to take off. Face reading art number 2. Alright, now nobility feature number 3. Look at forehead. There's of course high forehead and low forehead, and then of course you may say, yeah, but someone's forehead is high if my hairline goes all to the back, right? No, this is not a forehead. This is the top of your head. Forehead is just in front, okay? So usually for a guy to have good nobility in terms of career, or basically a person who's responsible, have a reasonably high forehead. So a good forehead is about 5 finger space. I know what you're doing. You're putting a thumb here. This is a thumb, it's not a finger. This is a finger, okay? Put it here this way, alright? So if you can fit 5 finger space, you have a broad forehead. But this is for guys, okay? For girls, for ladies, 4 is enough. No 5, okay? For ladies, only 4. If you can fit 5, you're a lady, that might be a little bit of a problem, okay? You see, the higher the forehead, the more responsible, more careful, and normally you shoulder very high-ranking positions. Now, if the forehead recedes backwards, sometimes you look at the side, you see the forehead recedes backwards, they are quick thinkers. If you look in the front, it sort of protrudes in towards the front. Now that's not what we want, because they think too much. They overanalyze on stuff. Yes, they know a lot of people, but they don't ask for help. That's the big problem, okay? So look at the sides a little bit. This one represents how many helpful people you have in your life. So if this part is protruding, a lot of people come to your aid whenever you need it. So if you look at your friends and this part here is fleshy, and now fleshy means there's 2 finger spaces between the hairline and the eyebrows. Usually these people can find helpful people as and whenever they need. Now if you have a lower forehead, it's just that it's not that they're stupid, okay? The lower forehead means they do the things they like to do, and lower forehead people like to do things instead of doing thinking. They like to take action on them without asking consensus from other people. Usually that's the case. So these are the 3 features you start out with. So let's recap. Life palace, the eyes represents the heart and soul, and nobility and reliability on the forehead, okay? Start with these 3 things first. The strategy is to keep the good and noble people near, okay? The next part is I'm going to show you how to detect those that might not be so advantageous to your goals and to your personal life. Maybe they're even hazardous to your health if you have them too near in your life.
I think it's one of the subjects that's easiest to enter, to be able to see someone without asking awkwardly, what's your birthday? Like they will be asking like, why are you asking? But you could actually see whether the person is trustworthy, or how would you be interacting with that person. So I think it's the easiest way to connect with somebody, and I love people, so I like to connect with people, so then that will be easier entry for me.
So actually through face reading, you can decode someone's personality and you can understand if someone can meet your expectations by just simply observing his face.
I've just been so convinced. I have such good experience with Joey, with his Bazi, with his Qiman Feng Shui. I've done it for quite a few years, following his instruction, and it's been working. It's always been working. So I'm not skeptic at all.
Now in this part of the lesson, I'm going to talk about how you could avoid working with certain people that may not be so advantageous to your goals and to, of course, your personal life. So I'm going to share with you the top 3 to stop the bleeding. So the first one is the nose. Now, in the art of face reading, according to the text, it says 鼻頭有肉，心無毒. In English, it means if the nose is fleshy, the heart is not poisonous. So conversely, if the nose is not fleshy, you got to take note. Not that everyone who doesn't have a fleshy nose is going to be a bad person, but you need to take note of the secret verse that is written in the face reading classics. It says, 鼻有三彎，其人必奸. It means that a person whose nose is bony and looks like a witch, that sort of nose or an eagle beak nose usually is associated with someone who would gladly take advantage of other people or at other people's expense. If it's crooked but it's fleshy, not a problem. If it is crooked and bony, you gotta take note. That is the first feature. The second feature, it's the eyebrows. Now, the eyebrows talk about a person's inner character. It's about whether that person's characteristics is easy to work with or not. Now, if you have the following features, then maybe you need to learn how to control your emotions, or maybe you need to work on yourself a little bit more. The first type of eyebrows is when the eyebrows, the tip of the eyebrows, point upwards. Usually that person could be temperamental or has emotional outbursts. In a relationship, that could cause problems because maybe they have lack of maturity over his or her own emotions. But of course, this can be fixed. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, oh, I'm going to fix this means I'm going to like pull out all these eyebrows. No, pulling the eyebrows just fixes the eyebrows. It doesn't fix the character. What you need to do is fix the character from inside out. You need to look at your personal temperaments, your emotions, and learn to better manage your emotions. Now, if you see this in your potential business partner or someone you're about to work with and you are someone that don't like drama, well, then you might need to reconsider your working relationships. Now, the eyebrows are very important. It also talks about money management. If someone has very poor eyebrows, well, what do you mean by poor eyebrows? That means the way the eyebrows are is that the hair grows in a very messy way that's up and down, eyebrows, they like crisscross all the time. So if the eyebrows itself is not growing in a certain direction and it doesn't look neat, for example, it reflects a lot on the personal finance of that person. Meaning that person, when it comes to numbers, maybe doesn't like to look at numbers, maybe is not so good about managing numbers. And the third feature I'm about to share with you is to observe the mouth. The mouth represents communication. It represents things that people say, besides eating, of course. Look at the tip of this corners here. Sometimes people have this corner going downwards. Like when they're not talking, not eating, just goes like that. It denotes that the person generally inside is a little bit pessimistic or maybe unhappy, or maybe there's a silent depression going on. Or observe this, look at the way they talk, okay? Sometimes they talk, their mouth moves sideways, okay? They are normal, but the moment they talk, it goes sideways, or they move do this, okay? These are generally people who like to talk about faults, talk about why things don't work, or overanalyze on stuff that generally make them unhappy or make other people unhappy. So if you want a happy person or a person that is positive or say positive things, then this might not be someone that you want to work with. Of course, management is very important. You got to manage this sort of people. So if you are not into babysitting, then these are the people that you might want to avoid, long-term partnerships with. Now, I got a lot more of these features, both positive features and negative features, and I can't fit it into just one training video. So what I need you to do now, remember there are 4 things that I begin with that I needed you to do. The first one was getting into that private Facebook group. Well, be sure to get in there because I'm going to do a live Q&A. I'm going to be sharing with you additional topics and content on these 2 positive and also negative features. So you're going to get additional content in there. I need you to get into that private Facebook group. So leave a comment for me in the comment section below. So let me know if you enjoyed this session and what would you like to learn, and I'll try to fit this in our lesson 2. And of course, remember there's a set of notes that come along with this lesson, of course. Please download that notes because those notes contain stuff like the background information, a little bit of history, and of course a lot of techniques that I probably didn't fully cover in the program itself. Download the notes and read it through thoroughly. And if you have friends and family who you think that would benefit from this training, please remember to tag them on this video or share this video with them. Lesson 2 will be released in a couple of days and it will completely change the way you look at someone. Till then, stay tuned, take lots of photos of faces of people that you meet and live passionately. I'll see you in the next lesson.
Hi everyone. Thank you to Dr. Joey for the great explanation of the art of face reading. So I welcome everyone to the first day of our Face Reading Online Summit 2019, right? So some of you probably already know that this Face Reading Summit actually is starting from today. This is the first day, 21st until 27th consecutive day to ensure that every one of you here able to master this art. Right? Some of you here might think whether I'm the right person to do this or not, right? I'm just a beginner. That's why we structure this program in a 7-day to make sure that not only you know how to learn this, but you also know how to apply this and enjoy this learning process. So before we start this, let me just introduce myself, give a little bit of introduction about what I do here. My name is Iverson Lee. So actually, I seeing all of you are still logging in here, right? So hi to everyone here. Yeah, so I'm just for you to know, I'm in Singapore right now. I'm what I do on a daily basis here. I'm a consultant, I'm an instructor, and I'm a speaker. Also, and a lot of people ask, right, what actually drive me to do this? Because 6 years ago, if you knew me 6 years ago, what I did that time are very different from what I'm doing right now, right? So some of you knew me before, so I have a very so-called interesting history. What I'm doing back 7 years ago, I'm a computer programmer. Right, so don't you think it's very contrasting with what I'm doing right now? Last time I'm writing codes. Basically, I'm sitting in a room looking at a monitor screen. And fast forward 7 years right now, I'm doing something totally different. Right, I'm a speaker, I'm teaching. So it's beyond my wildest dream. Yeah, back then to think about this. That's why a lot of people ask me, what is the factor or the decision that you make, or is this something happen to you that actually makes you to actually make this decision to change your destiny? Because a lot of people notice that I was very frustrated before 7 years ago. And keep blaming about how come I cannot find my life passion? How come I'm so frustrated with my job? And every day seems like I'm dragging myself to work. And back to now, actually, I am very fulfilled with my job as I'm talking to you right now at night. Right, I'm still very energetic. I discover my passion here, and also one thing is more important here is I discover one very important thing here is right now I truly believe that with the right tool, people can change their destiny. This is the thing that drive me to pursue all these things to help people to do this. So one of the tools that I use a lot in my practice, not only for myself and for my client as well, is face reading. Right, so that's I think all of you here still logging in here. So let me just say hi to some of you here. So I can actually see all your conversation here on the chat box right now. So I've been told that all of you here are logging in from different countries. Some of you here are waking up very late at night, right? So and some of you are very early in the morning. So that's why I would like to start to actually express my appreciation, and also have a deep respect because all of you here have a desire to learn something. So on my side here, I'm going to do my best here to actually share with you, how do you apply this? And more importantly is I just got a surprise message from the team here that we're going to have a prize giveaway, right? I just got there'll be 3 prizes to give away at the end of this session here. So while I'm actually sharing with you how do you actually learn face reading, I want all of you here to take note. Right? So some of you, how do we start this? How do you ensure that you maximize the learning for this 1 hour here? I want you to do 3 things. Only 3 things from your side here to get prepared. The first part here, I want you to do is I want you to mark your calendar right now from 21st to 27th, 8:30 p.m. GMT +8. Yeah, this is a time you're going to immerse yourself in learning. Yeah, a lot of time people say that how can I learn something more effectively? I always believe in immersion. The moment you actually put yourself in an environment where you can interact with all the coaches here, because if you're logged in right now, there's a lot of coaches that are actually helping you to understand this subject better and ensure that all your experience here are enjoyable and seamless here, right? So that's the first thing here, mark your calendar, because we are not going to repeat this, right? We only do this on these 7 days here, and it's entirely free. If you discover that some of your friends also need some knowledge about face reading, yeah, feel free to actually forward to them. That's the first part here. And then the second thing I want you to actually do here also to take some notes as well. So prepare some, it could be a notepad or an iPad to take some notes, because I'm going to actually share with you a lot of so-called information that can actually, if you apply, if you decide to apply today, you can see changes, right? So this is something that I'm going to do. So get your notebook ready. And another third thing here that I want all of you here to actually get a picture, a three picture from different angle from your face. Obviously, this is a face reading online summit, right? So all you need to do is to have a face, right? So, and you need to take 3 photos. So one from the straight, right in front, and then from the left side, and then from your right hand side as well. Yeah, just in case somebody want to know. So let me take our phone here. So the first one will be on here in front, take one. And then the second one is on this side. So you can see from your left hand side, your ear and everything, your texture and everything here. And then finally, the third one will take from your right side. So there are a total of 3 photos. And then you're ready, right? So these are the things that you need to actually maximize this learning for this 1 hour or probably more, on this a very special day 1 of Face Reading Online Summit. So for some of you here just logging in, let me see, I can see, wow, there are a lot of people here today. So thanks for joining us here. And hi, some of you from, let me see from Philippines. Hi everyone, appreciate your participation here. So a lot of people still logging in here. So good morning, good evening, to all of you here, different time zone here. Very good. Okay, cool. So now, how do we actually carry this? I think while I'm doing this here, and actually my sharing session here will be very, very flexible, because if you notice, I constantly looking at your comment here. So I will speak on something that interested you. Not what I'm interested in, but more to you. So I want to make this online summit here personalized to you. What is important to you, right? So I'll make this session here very, very flexible and a very dynamic session here. So keep sometime submit something you like to hear on this comment box here. Okay, so I think just now I saw one of the question here you asked about what is the difference between Bazi and face reading? Because some of you here, you already learned Bazi, right? And then Bazi talking about your destiny, talking about your character, your talent. And now you encounter another subject, you're talking about face reading, right? I think the first thing in your mind here, what is the difference here? So let me just use this opportunity here to explain to every one of you here, what is the key difference here? Whenever we talk about Bazi, Bazi astrology, the moment you enter your date of birth and your time of birth, your plot chart, they weren't talking about your destiny in long term. It's a progressive chart. There's a time element on it. For example, like even to fast forward like 10 years opportunity or even 20 years, you can actually use a Bazi to actually predict or forecast on certain opportunity. Wow. Face reading on the other side here is not talking about what happened to you in 10 years or 20 years from now. Face reading is like a snapshot chart. I believe all of you here, in this generation, we have a smartphone, right? So we take photos, right? We take a photo, so we snapshot on that moment. So let me ask you one question here. If you look back in your life like 10 years ago, you take a photo looking back, right? Are you very much different from 10 years from now and compared to now? Right? Because a photo is to capture the essence of that moment. So therefore, face reading actually focus on current, your present time, and what is happening to you right now, which means that it's still subjected to change. Right? So because some of you here are very worried, right? If I see my face on certain negative feature, is it me they're going to stay with me forever? Don't worry. right? Because face reading talking about a snapshot of the present moment. And why we want to know the present moment? Because a lot of people talking about improving their future or create a better future or create a better destiny, right? And I discovered that the key to create a better future, actually the secret lies in the present, right? In the present moment. So if you're aware and you pay attention at the present moment and you improve upon it, automatically your future will be better. Don't you agree? Right? So therefore, face reading is a tool to talking about what's happening right now and then what you can do to improve upon it. Because it's like the law, right? If your present is improved right now, automatically it will shift to the new direction of your future. So that is the key to change your destiny, the power of presence. This is what, or in a nutshell, of face reading is talk about. So once we know this part here, so let me just show you some of the things that you must know first. Yeah, when we talk about face reading. Face reading is an art to observe your face, right? So I think some of you here approaches this subject before, and a lot of people have a mixed emotion about face reading. Yeah, a lot of people thinking that face reading is a tool to discriminate people, but actually it's a totally opposite of that. Right? The reason we learn face reading here is not to discriminate people like you belong to this group, you are this type of character. No, we don't do that. Yeah, the purpose or the reason we learn face reading here is to actually understand about people and more importantly, accept their differences. Yeah, because all of us here are born differently, we wired differently, we have different belief system, right? So the moment we understand why they do what they do, then we become more receptive to them. Then instead of discriminate people, face reading is actually, if you practice face reading, you have to understand and ultimately lead you to one state, compassion, right? This is the most powerful emotion that we can actually give. It's a perfect gift you can give people, right? So think about this. If your relationship with people are better, don't you think your quality of your life will be great? I always believe that the quality of our life is the direct reflection of our quality of our relationship. The thing about this, the moment you get promoted, or maybe you actually get a great business deal, make profit, or maybe you actually find a great job, or some good event happen to you, what is the first thing in your mind? Don't you think you want to call someone to share with those good news, right? So therefore, the happiness that you want actually is nothing from the material you're getting here, which in fact, but a lot of people think it is, but it's not. Yeah, it's about who are able to share the happiness with you. Yeah, because if you are a very rich person living alone in a mansion, you are the poorest person on earth, right? So I always believe that wealth is the true wealth here is we are able to surround with the person we love, and then those person that we love also love us back. I think that is the true wealth. That is how what I believe whenever we're talking about wealth here. So therefore, I will use the face reading here to actually help to actually improve relationship, understand them better, and give them happiness. Right? Don't you think that all of us here yearn for understanding, from other people about what we think, who we are, right? So then we feel safe with those people. So that's one of the reasons why we learn this face reading here. And I think that another reason that we learn face reading here because is the more we want to achieve something or we want to actually help people, the first thing here is not about strategy. A lot of people know what to do, but they just don't do what they know. So if you want to help them, the first part here is you want to influence them, right? And the most effective way to influence people is to know what is already influenced them in the first place. So by using face reading, you know what is important to them, what thing make them happy. So we can actually interact with them and then actually can guide them and influence them to make a better decision. Yeah, this is the tool that I use a lot in consult, right? Sometimes we just meet your friend. Not every time we have the party chat. And we do need to sometimes, right? We see a friend and we see sometimes they're depressed, right? So what are the buttons we should push here to make them inspire again, right? So that's how I use face reading on a daily basis. And also some of the questions that I receive here is, how do I know who is my nobleman? Yeah, this is a popular question, right? Whenever you study Bazi astrology, you discover maybe this year you have a nobleman, right? And maybe 10 people come to you. who is the actual one that can help you, right? So if you know face reading, you can actually check, right, who is the one is the genuine, which one is not, right? So therefore, we actually have to save a lot of time, to actually to help or to find the people that help you to achieve your goal, right? So, and there are much more benefit here. So I'm going to share with you more because all of us here, we still have 7 days, so we have a lot of time we can spend together here. So there will be a lot of actually a featured speaker that we also share with you their own knowledge about face reading starting tomorrow until 27. So stay tuned, and because each of the speakers here have their own different experience and they have different expertise. For example, like some of them are very good in relationship. Probably you already know who it is. But let's remain it's a mystery right now. But there are a group of elite panel speakers here. They're going to share with you a different aspect and how do you use face reading in the quickest way and to see the result as fast as possible. So stay tuned. Because all of us here have different flavors. Some of them are good in relationships. Some of them are good in health. Some of them is in creating or are good in creating wealth. So you get everything. In these 7 days here, right? So you better get your notes ready here. So what we'll share with you today, probably I want to share about certain points that I think is interesting, especially a lot of you here are beginners. So let me see here. On the chat box right now, if this is your first time, you actually are know face reading, or you actually get to know face reading, please type the word yes in the comment box right now so can you see who you are right now. Okay, actually looking at the chat box right now. Just in case you want to know this one. So let me see here. Wow. So if you are new to face reading, this is your first time, and I would like to know you. I want to see who you are. And I'm very good in memory. I can almost memorize all in a while. Oh, you here, Sharon, Carmen, Nicole, Veronica, welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this first ever. I think we haven't done this before. No one has done this before, the online summit face reading. And thank you. Thank you for your time. I know your time are precious. You can do anything right now, but you choose to be here. Truly appreciate that. And for that, in return, I'm going to deliver you more information. And maybe their bonus, like I just mentioned earlier, I'm going to have a 3 prizes giveaway in the end of this session. So I want demand, right? 100% of your attention, because later on, I'm going to ask a series of questions that related to that topic that I'm going to discuss soon. Then, you might need to pay attention because those persons who are able to answer correctly, I'm going to pick one of those one, and then you're entitled for a certain mystery gift, right? So, and pay attention. So how do we do this now? Let me just give you the broad perspective of learning this face reading. Face reading, the word itself implying is the art of observe, right? Certain aspect of the face, right? So basically, whenever people say they want to learn face reading, actually we only need to observe 3 areas because all the face will tell story. So I always believe that all faces here have a story to tell. So what is your story? Right? What is your story? And if you know what's your story, you can influence it and you can create a new story according to your term. Does it make sense? Right? So how do we do this here? What are the ingredients to tell a story? Because if you want to read, if you want to know a story, some of us, we read the book, right? The word will tell you what type of story it is. It could be a horror story, it could be an adventure story. If you want to actually watch movie, they also tell a story, right? Then how can a face can tell you a story? We don't have a word printed on our face right now. So the way we do this is we observe 3 things. 3 things you're going to observe that will tell you certain aspect about, it could be our character, could be our talent, it could be our wealth capacity, it could be relationship, there could be opportunity. There are so many things here. That's why we need 7 days to do this, right? So, and that is certain thing we don't look at the face. So there are 3 things. The first thing that we look at is the shape of our face. Right, the first, you might write this down. Maybe this is a question I'm going to ask later, right? So pay attention to this. Maybe the shape of your face. Have you occurred to you that some of your friend faces are more rounded? Some of them are more squarish, right? Of course, there are no triangle, right? But some of them, maybe their top is bigger, it looks like a triangle, maybe, right? But it's not exactly the sharp thing, but roughly overall the shape, might resemble a triangle shape, it could be, right? So the first part, the most easiest part to learn face reading, first of all, is to observe the overall shape first, right? Some shape they have different strength and different so-called functions or character. Right, so the more you know it, then you can actually know roughly what are the dominant force that govern that person. For example, like if someone have a more squarish face, actually they I would say that it's easier for them to become rich compared to other faces. Right? Okay, so these are the things we're going to discuss more and more detail. But for now, I want you to know that we actually observe the shape of individual faces. Right, so this is what we do. So the second thing that we observe beside the face as well, we're going to observe also the flesh. Are you fleshy on your face? Some of them they have only see the bones, right? It's very bony. Some of them here is fleshy. But one thing here, let me clarify. We must know the difference between fleshy and fat. I'm not talking about fat. I'm talking about fleshy. Someone can look very slim, but yet their face can be fleshy, right? So the moment actually, if you pinch your face, there's a meaty. Some people address it meaty, whatever it is, or chubby. So if you have flesh in face reading, it's good. It represents prosperous. So we don't like a bony face, or a face that you see all the bone coming out. So we actually observe the appearance of the flesh on our face. So if you can press, there's like a sponge. I think that one is pretty good, right? So that's the second part. So the first one, remember to talk about the face shape. The second part, we're talking about the fleshiness of the face. So, and then I think that just now Dato shared with you about the light palettes, right? Remember Dato Joey talking about, so if you want to know whether it's good or not, you want to press, if there's a response, bounce back means it's meaty, it's a good light palace, right? So these are the one we're talking about, fleshiness. And then the third thing, when we learn face reading, when we analyze someone's face, the third part we would like to observe is the features of the face. For example, like the eye, the eye shape, your nose, your eyebrow, your ear, and the mouth, So all these things we take into consideration, whether we want to actually analyze someone's face here. So these are the three things, we're going to talk about throughout these 7 days, right? So all you need to do, just have a face, and then you're good to go. So, and of course, on the highest level, they're actually looking at the chi color or the energy color of the face, right? So that part you're going to get to anyway. If you actually progress or learn this and practice this, eventually you're going to get to that level that you can actually observe someone's destiny by just observing the energy color of the face. Right? Some of you here instinctively know how to do that. But even you don't know how to do this, if you practice face reading, for example, like aggressively, maybe for 3 months, then I'm sure that you're going to get there eventually. So don't worry about that part, because you are not required to observe someone's energy color to know how to do face reading. As long as you know how to observe someone's features, the appearance of the feature and the face shape, then you can actually analyze all the faces in the world, right? So this is what you're going to learn for these 7 days. So let's start with today first. Let me look at what are the things we're going to talk about today. So let's look at your chat box right now. Okay, so there are a few things we'll talk about today, probably now 6 points or 6 or 7 points here. So the first thing that a lot of people ask me, especially this year, because a lot of people discover that, that the economy is not doing good, right? And then they need to save a lot of money. So therefore, a lot of people become more pessimistic. So the moment people actually become more pessimistic, then they always ask one same question, although they actually ask it on different way. But basically they will ask this question. Will I have the luck or not? Right? Does my face actually shows that I'm lucky or not? Don't you think a lot of people are actually interested to know this? Although all of us, we keep telling people, right, we need to work hard, right? We need to depend on ourselves, right? But inside ourselves, we still yearn that we have extra advantage here to actually, align with the luck, right? We get more opportunity by being the right place and the right time, So I think that part is also important. So actually, our face, able to tell from just for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, you can actually roughly tell whether someone has luck or not. Would you like to know this? If you like to know this, you type the word yes there. So I see, remember I told you, this content I'm going to share here depends on your response. So you'll be a very candid here. I don't have a script here. I'm just talking to you as if I'm talking to a friend, right? So now, if you want to know how can you observe someone lucky or not from their face within seconds, type the word yes there, and I'm going to share with you right now. Wow, very good. Okay. So, wow, so many people there. Okay, all right. So your request granted. Okay, let me share with you here. So now, in face reading, in the end, or whatever Chinese metaphysics we're studying here, we're talking about only one thing, about energy. If the energy are flowing and balance is considered good. Which means that, and you're with the flow. The moment you're with the flow, you're very clear what you want to do, and then it seems like everything in the universe conspire to help you to achieve your goal. For example, you're meeting the right people, you're doing something the right time, the economy favors you, so many things here. So therefore, in our face, right, we can actually look at whether the energy are flowing smoothly or obstructed. So how do we do this? Okay, let's start with a very, very basic analysis first, because I've been told that a lot of you here are very new. And then I think that's the perfect reason to learn face reading. Because face reading is the most easiest subject ever to learn and the fastest to actually applying it, So last time, just to share with you, I just learned like 2 hours and I start applying by seeing my friend's face and all those people here. And as I'm talking to you right now, actually there's a team of people actually standing behind here. They start checking their face, right? So I'm looking at all of you at the behind here. These are the team that help to set up this live environment, this studio here, so maybe I can later, help them as well. So I want you to actually learn this, and then after this session ended tonight, you're going to help other people, maybe your loved one, to read their faces as well, right? So now, let me tell you, how do you actually adjust someone's luck from the face within seconds? Very, very simple. So this boils down, you might be surprised after I told you this, right? So you might, the question is like this: do you have a big face or small face? Right. So this is very simple, right? So do you have a big face? Have you encountered some people, their face is big, slightly bigger, and then the first thing you remember is their face? I'm not talking about too big. If it's too big, got problem, it's like an alien. That one you need to actually get medical help. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about you slightly bigger, So which means that you don't have a very skewed face, a very small or suppressed face. That one is called small face. So I want to check on your face right now. Do you have a moderately big face, or your head is very small? So which one you are? So now check now. So if you discover, this is the most difficult question of tonight. So if you're able to answer this, then you can answer anything. There's nothing you can answer. So now type on that. If you have discovered you have a big face, just type the word big. And we don't have too big. No, so big means that it's like it's not small. Anything is not small is considered big. Moderately big. So how many of you here just discovered that you have a small face? Let me see whether I can help you on this or not. So I got my iPad here. So okay. I'm sure whether you can see this. Can you see this? Okay. All right. So if someone's face, right? So I would say this one is considered big. Okay, not too big. It's small, it's like this. Okay, this is considered small face, So can you see the drawing there? Can I see the drawing? Okay, all right, cool. So this is what I'm talking about, right? But in relation to your body, of course, if you ask about you also read baby face, of course, all baby head is small, right? That doesn't mean they have a small face, right? Because you need to relatively compare to their body, right? So long story short, if you have a bigger face, which means that you have better luck compared to a small face. Why? Because the energy in your face here are flowing, you have more space to flow. So the energy are not obstructed easily. So now you check your face. So next time, if you see a friend, or maybe someone next to you right now, check their face right now. See. Of course, you tell them, right? Just silently observe. See whether in generally, so whether they have luck or not. So doesn't mean the small face doesn't have luck. That's what I meant here. But it means that if you have a bigger face, you have better luck. Your luck capacity are higher. Or even if you activate feng shui, you're the one that get faster results, so I think that one is really, really good one to observe, right? Because in face reading, the essence here is we actually analyzing the energy, so if the concept here is like this here, if your face are bigger, the energy have more space to flow and less obstruction. That is the concept behind. Okay, all right. So let me see some of the comment here. Okay. Wife Desmond, you say that the wife told me that it's moderately big. Okay, what is big here? They didn't mention. Okay, so I assume it's your face. So I think it's good. So Desmond, it's very good. So for me, I has a big face relationship to his body structure. Okay, very good. So and someone say that I make my face smaller. I used to be big. Okay, this is from Dion. So okay, now you know, right? What is the implication, right? I don't know. I have no idea what technology you use to make your face smaller. But on conceptually wise, we are talking about overall luck. Let's say you only have one knowledge here, and you only observe whose luck is better. You observe the size of the face shape. That one is one of the first lesson on tonight. And pay attention to this. This might be the question we'll ask later. Okay, all right, cool. Write it down. Okay, now next one. Next one we're going to talk about here is, I think that a lot of people here are interested on relationship, right? So I would say that a lot of people ask this question, especially I just did a workshop in Singapore. I'm still in Singapore right now. I'm actually talking to you before. If some of you here in Singapore, maybe you can tomorrow, maybe we can have some chatting here about discussion about this. If you're Singapore, all right, so actually we are in the same country. I'm speaking to you right now. So now, in the second thing here, a lot of people ask is about relationship. About relationship. People will ask the question, will I actually find someone new? How do I actually attract a partner in, right? So in the end, if someone that find it hard to actually finding a partner, there are two reasons. The first reason here, it probably maybe your requirement is too high. Then the so-called mortal human being not able to match your expectation. That's one. And then another reason here, if your expectation is not that high, another reason here would be maybe that you need to increase your likability, right, or attraction, so to speak. Because attraction is not a choice. Don't you think so? Right, so we cannot decide whether we're going to attracted by this person or not. We cannot decide that. If you're attracted to this person, means that it's automatic, right? So we only can decide whether we want to be with this person or not. We want to build the relationship with this person. That one is our decision. But the first impulse, the emotion about attraction, is not a choice. You cannot control that, right? Either you're attracted or you don't. But what you're going to do with that attraction is up to you, right? So in face reading, they ask, how do we actually see someone face here that have a better so-called relationship or better attraction with the opposite sex? Don't you think you want to know that as well, right? So which means that you have this feature here. The moment you talk to the opposite sex here, you are someone that highly sought after. You're likable. You're charismatic. This is the thing that you see all these traces here. If you have this feature, this is what exactly we're talking about right now, right? Because a lot of people ask, how do I see attraction in the face? So of course, let me ask you one question here before we start. This is nothing to do with face reading. It doesn't require any face reading knowledge. Let's say I give you three things to represent relationship. One is the nose, one is the eye, and then one is the mouth. Which of these features do you think that closely relates to relationship? Right. So is it the eye? There's no right or wrong. I want you to think. Because face reading, a lot of things is related to how we actually relate to our real life here. So I want you to think about which of these features here related to relationship. Is it the eye, or is it the nose, or is it the mouth? Okay. So let me see a response here. Okay. So a lot of you say it's the eye, right? So I think some of you mentioned the mouth. Okay, and then none of you mentioned the nose. Okay, wow. Okay, cool. So now, how do we actually do this? Let me ask you one question here. I want you to remember back, the moment you fall in love in the first time. Right. So what need to happen? I know some already you mentioned about the mouth. I think you relate a relationship with kissing. Yeah, maybe that is one. But I'm talking about falling in love. Right. So what need to happen for you to connect to someone heart to heart and fall in love? Because fall in love is about emotion, right? It's about you're able to connect with someone emotionally and chemistry. You're able to connect to the soul. Which are the part we're able to penetrate to someone's soul? Right, is the eye, right? As the saying say that, right, the window is the eye is the window of the soul, correct or not? Right? So therefore the eyes represent relationship, and therefore there are a lot of attraction reading is got to do with the eye. Right. So so there are more there, because relationship, they are actually attraction, they're actually divided into so many categories. Some of them are maybe opposite sex, some of them are more networking. So let's talk about in general first here. So how do we see someone eyes here has the attraction? So it's very simple. I want all of you here to actually listen carefully to this, because I want to mention one. So it's about have you observed sometime whenever people laugh, they have like a crinkles here, or maybe some people say it's a crowd fit, like someone smile, there's a line here, all this line here. In Cantonese, they call this yu mei man, or in the Western world, maybe we call this a crinkles or crowd fit, this line. The moment you smile. So whenever someone smile, if you see this line here, these are the line represent attraction. So I want all of you here to take another photos right now. While you're smiling, take a photo and then observe whether you have this line or not, this extra line coming out. This is not wrinkles, by the way. Yeah, this is only visible the moment you smile. Yeah, like this. You see there's a line here? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Right, so check right now. Yes. Okay, do it now. So how many of you here discovered that you have this line here? You have this line here, congratulations. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you look attractive or you're handsome or pretty, but if you have this, means that, people like to talk to you. Yeah, people like you to be around with them, so which means that there's less effort on your part to make yourself likable. Yeah, so don't you think this is good? Yeah, a lot of people, sometimes they are not happy the moment they discover this. They always equate this to adultery. It's not, right? This is about attraction. Don't you think if you are a salesperson and your job here is about connecting with people, don't you think this is a good feature to have? Okay, yeah, so now, this is some of you here are business owner right now, or your job actually always got to deal with hiring new people, especially salespeople. These are one of the way you can check whether someone have this so-called unconscious competence in attraction. Yeah, they don't need to do anything. All they need to do is just to be there, then people will actually like to talk to them. This is about the energy of this person able to bring. And you can trace back through the fishtail here. Yeah, okay, cool. So then I know that a lot of people are asking here is it mean adultery? It means that there are a problem in their marriage. I think that one is about decision. It's nothing to do with attraction. Because a lot of people don't have attraction also actually, also find third party outside, right? So in the end here, if on the face reading, a lot of people ask can see or not, whether this so-called attraction can create problems or not. Right, so there are one way to see this, because you learn. I wish in fact you're going to learn more in a more advanced level in this next few days here. But just to give you some head ups here, in face reading, for the guy, this part here represent your temple. This represent your spouse palace, right? So the moment you are smiling, this fish tail here is only unfavorable if it's actually penetrate through or cut through the temple. You see this is the temple here. This part here I'm talking about, right? This gap between your eyebrow and the hairline here, these are the temple, right? So if you smile, if this thing here doesn't cut through, piercing directly to here, it won't affect the marriage. Only if the line here actually penetrate here right until here, until this part here, then will be a problem. Right, so that is one way you can actually check on it. But don't worry, right? So that everything here, that will have a solution, right? We're just going through like the second lesson here. So I just give you a little bit head up, because in the next few modules, whenever we become more familiar with face reading, right, there are certain palace that govern the spouse palace. right? So we don't want that balance to be disturbed. Yeah, more to come, right? So, but for you to know right now, if you want to know someone that are attractive to opposite sex, you just look at the fishtail here. Easy? All right, this is the second information I'm going to share with you. So let me see your response here. Okay, some people ask here, if no line means what? Right? Okay, very simple. Very simple to this question here. I think a lot of you also know. Since having a fishtail line represent attraction, if you don't have line, means what? Mean you might not have the attraction yet, right? Because remember, face reading is a snapshot chart, right? If you don't have it right now, doesn't mean you won't have it in the future. So maybe we can take some action here to observe, what is the art or certain strategy to become more attractive, and you do more of it, and finally becoming it, then you see that your features of your face will be changed as well. Yeah. So yeah, this is your answer here. Okay. Okay, some of you say, can I draw the fish tail line here? Yeah, you can draw. Yeah, if you like it. Yeah, hopefully. I think Mike Tyson had this as well. Right, you can draw, but it doesn't actually change that part, right? But it makes you more, I think maybe you are more different. That's it. Right? So because face reading here, everything is not come from external, it's come from internal. Yeah, it's come from inner change inside. Everything you want in life, or all the changes you want, actually come from yourself. A lot of people keep thinking, how do I change my spouse? How do I make sure my spouse listen to me? Yeah, it's not so easy to change other people, but if you change yourself, the way you interact with your spouse, yeah, indirectly, actually, you're changing the interaction, and therefore, then we change the way they interact with you. So all change happen internally. Yeah, think about this, right? If you look at the mirror, and then you don't like some part about yourself, right? Let's say you discover that there's a dirt on your eye. Where do you correct the dirt, or where do you wipe off the dirt? Do you actually clean the mirror? Will the dirt go away? No, right? You don't clean the mirror because the mirror is just a reflection of who you are. So who do you clean? Your own face, right? You don't clean the mirror to erase the dust. So it's on your side here. So all the change here, just imagine the mirror represent your external world. Yeah, so no matter what you do in the external world, it doesn't able to do anything because the external world is just a reflection of who you are inside. So in order to make change, we ourselves need to be the change first. So I think some of you are Mike MJ fans, right? He's one of the songs is called "Man's in the Mirror," right? So looking back into ourselves first. Okay, cool. So let's see what we can talk here. Yeah, and then let's talk about marriage. Yeah, marriage here. I think a lot of people here interested on relationship. So let's talk about marriage. I know a lot of people asking questions. Some people ask about how long will I live, all those things. Yeah, there's a lot here. Don't worry, we are listening. Keep posting here, because based on your request here, yeah, I'm going to actually, and the team here, all the panel speaker, we actually are based on your request here to actually talk more about that. So you are in control here. Yeah, so keep posting. Yeah, we'd like to hear more from you here. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're doing, all of you here doing a great job so far. Don't let it stop. Yeah, participate more on this, and then we have more content to talk about. Yeah, one thing here, I think I used to talk to all the students, right? So if you want to actually make me to share more bonus thing here, it's very simple, right? You just make me more happy. And how to become more happy here is the moment you participate, because I love participation. Right, so you participate more, and then you might end up getting more bonus topics here tonight. Okay, all right. So let's talk about. Let me see what other thing you like to talk about. Okay, so I think a lot of you here are interested in relationship, right? So relationship here is a very interesting topic, because in the end, ultimately, face reading, the goal of applying face reading is for you to connect better with people, because everything you want in life comes from other people, don't you think? So if you're a business owner, you want to make more profit, who actually create the revenue? People. Right, your salesperson is also people, your client also people, right? So all this here, if you want happiness in life, right, or you want everything, and even health, you want a better health, you need to find the right people able to treat your issues or not, right? So which means that, let me summarize this, all of these things got to do with people. So I think that is good, or is actually is the right time for me now to discuss something about relationship. But relationship, there are so many different categories. Yeah, there will be a relationship with your family, your children, your superior, your colleagues, So I know there are a lot of people interested in intimate relationship. Let's talk something about this, right? So, and this is the day one. So I will give you a general understanding analysis here. And as you move forward, you become more proficient, you become more familiar. Then we're going to fill in more details inside. Okay. All right. So whenever we talk about relationship, let's talk about intimate relationship for a lady, for female. First of all, you need to know whether you're male or female first, right? So now check, whether you're male or female. Okay. Once you identify yourself if you're female, because the way we read relationship for a male and female is different. So of course, ladies first, right? So let's talk about female first. So for female, one thing you need to look at, or the main focal point we need to look at, is the nose. The nose. You know where's the nose is? Right, this part, right? So the nose here in face reading for female, the nose represent your spouse palace. Represent a spouse palace, or also represent the condition of your husband as well. Don't you think it's important, right? If your nose is good, means that you have a great husband. And if your nose are less desirable, there are a tendency that you attracted to a wrong person, or someone that actually in long run doesn't actually add value to your life. So these are the one you need to think about. So is the nose. So before I do this here, I want all of you here to feel your nose. How does it feel? Is it fleshy or not? For guy no need, only for female. Okay, because now we are only focused on female. So your nose here represents the condition. So don't scratch it. Because this is your future, right? Because some of you here, this represents your husband's star. Okay, now, so this star here, I think let me just share with you one thing here. A lot of people ask about if a lady have a very, very big nose, what does it mean? Right, so we like the nose to be fleshy, but if it's overly too big, it's the first look at the face, the first thing you notice is the nose. If it's too big, we don't like that formation, because we call this lonely mountain formation. Remember now. Lonely mountain formation, which means that, they might feel lonely in the relationship, and they don't think a lot of people understand them, So therefore, this is a self-induced, emotion here. So if you are, if you have, I want you to check on your nose right now. I'm talking about a very, very big nose. Not just big nose. Big nose is okay, it's fine. But I'm talking about someone nose here is too big. Is the first thing you notice is nothing but just the nose. Now that one represent they might feel lonely, and therefore they might not able to enjoy a great relationship. So therefore, the moment I discover this, maybe you have a very big nose. The way to change this is awareness. Right, because you think about this, if someone feels lonely, most of the time they don't feel that a lot of people understand them, right? So therefore, you need to make yourself to relate better to them, so you can express your emotion better. I think that way can help you a lot. And the moment you do this, something are changing. So therefore, I say that face reading here is not to discriminate anyone here, but to give you awareness so you can change something before it's too late. Don't you think it's useful? Right? Because think about this. If you are young, it's very hard for you to become lonely, right? When will someone feel lonely? Most of the time, the moment they reach 50s, 60s, right? And then they don't have a lot of friends, therefore you feel it. If you are young, it's rarely you feel lonely. You can do so many things, right? You have energy. So therefore, if you know this earlier, the earlier you know this, then you can change something about that, right? Now you become more likable. Make more friends. Give more, contribute more. And then the moment you focus your feeling on other people, helping other people, then you won't have that loneliness information anymore, right? So these are the things here that I can share with you here. And again, if your nose is represent the husband, right? So how do you judge a good nose and a bad nose? Right. So a good nose here, there are two criteria. You need to look at to actually judge whether a good nose or not. So first of all, a good nose means that the nose must be straight. Must be straight. So how do you know it's straight? Remember, just I asked you to take the left and right photo. So from there you can see, right? Some people don't have the nose bridge. That means that it's not straight, right? It's really depressed inside. But the nose straight is actually a straight line. That one is a straight nose here. So that represent one of the criteria of a good nose. The second criteria here, a good nose constitute of the nose tip here must be fleshy. So now for all the lady, I want you to press your nose tip here, not your nostril, okay? Your nose tip. Nose tip here, you press, whether it's fleshy or not. Yeah, if it's fleshy and it's tall, it's actually represent a very good nose. Since the nose represent your husband condition, and it's a good nose means that your husband are confident, charismatic, and capable as well. Right, so I want to check your nose there. And I know that some of you are now getting worried, right? Then you suddenly discover, hey, now my nose is not fleshy and then it's not straight. Is it means that I'm marrying a loser? Is it not meant to be interpreted that way? Because since it's your nose, right, which means that you actually don't put importance of someone achievement or your husband achievement or into your selection of a good husband. Yeah, for you maybe is as long he loves me, he's okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether he is a drug addict, or whatever. As long as he's love me, then you're fine. So the nose here, in the real meaning of interpreting your husband or star here, is talking about your own expectation of what type of spouse that you consider a right candidate. So your nose tell you that. So therefore, that's why the face reading keep telling you that your nose represent your husband. So basically, it's represent your expectation of the other half, right? If your nose is good, means that you expect your husband to become a driven person, someone useful, someone achiever, right? So the moment you marry this person might not, your husband might not be successful yet, but because of your expectation, your encouragement, so therefore they become better. Yeah, we see a lot of cases like that, right? The moment they get married, somehow their character change, and then they become very successful. Maybe the encouragement is from the wife, or their spouse. Yeah, so that's how we evaluate the nose. There are more things here, but I think this thing will get you started here. Yeah, that's the nose here. Okay. So, and then one thing here I wanted to point out on the nose, since you're talking about the nose here, is there's a nose bridge here, right? This nose bridge here. So sometimes this nose bridge here actually is protruding, like you see, okay, my nose have some, you see here, there's a protruding here. It's not straight, actually protruding out. Yeah, the moment someone knows there's a bone here that protruding out here. So which means that this person sometimes they're a bit hot tempered. So I think for a guy, it's still okay, right? So if they have very high opinion on something. So if for last time, old days here, all the female doesn't allow to voice their opinion, right? Yeah, so they need to follow or obey all their husband instruction, right? So therefore, last time, if they don't like a female, they have a knot on your nose bridge. Because the moment they have a knot, they have a very high opinion, and then they might have a lot of argument with the husband. Last time they categorized this person is a bad wife. Yeah, but if we look in the future right now, it's no longer applicable, right? So if you're a lady, you have a knot on your nose bridge, means that you're highly opinionated, and then you also are very strong character. Therefore, if you want to make your life happier in your career, you might actually achieve a lot of things because you're confident. You are strong character. But in relationship, you try to mellow down a little bit. That will help you. Because the nose here represents the husband, right? So we don't want to offend or so against your husband all the time. Right, so this is one of the advice I want to share with people. If you're a lady and you have a knot here, so you try to be more, just pretend a little bit, softer the moment you go home and interact with your husband. This will actually add value to the relationship. Yeah, do you see how useful face reading is? Right, you actually can give advice to people, even relationship advice. That's how impactful it is. Okay, now let's talk about one thing here is about. Let's see what else we want to talk about. Okay, still relationship. Okay, so let's talk about one thing. Okay, later the guy, I hear you. I'll talk something that you like. Yeah, so now since we're talking about relationship, let me add one more thing here. If you talk about relationship, let's say you're already married right now. A lot of people also want to know their fertility rate as well. right? A lot of people, this is one of the major concerns, especially for the recent 20 years, right? Yeah, we have made a lot of progress in our career, everything, technology, but the fertility rate actually declining. This problem here affect not only in our country, it affect the global population as well, right? So in our face here for female, right, we can actually detect, whether your fertility rate is good or not. Yeah, you want to learn how to see this? Without checking the medical report, you can know instantaneously, what is your chances here? Actually, face reading can do this quite fast. So how do you do this? So fertility in a face reading subject here, they're actually referring to your fulcrum. Then where's the fulcrum is? The fulcrum actually located this part here. Yeah, this line here. Yeah, this line between your nose tip to your lips here. This line here, some people have a very deep fulcrum, which means that there's very deep, and then they're very long fulcrum here. This one here, this line here. So when you look at your photo right now, your front photo, so do you see a defined fulcrum here or not? How do you mean a good fulcrum? A good fulcrum here must be deep, they're sunken. This part is sunken, from the nose tip to here is sunken, and then it's wide, and long as well. Yeah, so if that is you discover that your fulcrum is sunken and then wide and long, which means that you can actually, your fertility rate actually is very, very good, and then you can produce a lot of babies. That is the thing here. So because in face reading, not only we talk about character, we also talking about someone's health as well. Yeah, that is the purpose of why the face reading are created in the first place. They use the face reading to assess someone's health. The eye represents a certain part of your body. So on this part here, your fulcrum represent your ovary. Or the condition of the ovary. So that part here, how do we know it's good? As long as, let me repeat again, it has to be deep, has to be long, and then it's also be wide. This is which represent this person have a very healthy body, and then they're very fertile. So this other part here. So I hope this information here makes some difference to you to actually do some assessment on your face, and then therefore if you know this early, you can actually go check up and then improve your health, right? So and therefore you can prevent this problem from happening in the first place. Yeah, so this is a part we're going to talk about. So now, okay, so let's let me see what else you want to talk about here. Okay, let's talk about one thing here. We talk about mole, because whenever we do face reading here, we cannot escape this topic, right? Because a lot of people have the mole in the face, and then they're always curious to know, what does it mean, right? So the mole can appear in so many places here, and that is the entire subject of face reading, talking about mole alone. So since you're interested on this, let me just share with you some of it. So a mole, how do we classify a mole? A mole basically is is some of us have a dark spot here, right? But that one is not a mole, because that one is not dented, it's not in 3D form, So a mole has to be something that actually protruding out, you can feel it, and then with a hair, that one is considered a mole. Otherwise, it's just a spot. Okay, so the mole here, some of you might have mole in your face, right? So you have a mole in your face right now, please type the word yes, on here, so I know that you have a mole. Yeah, if no one have a mole, then maybe I skip this topic, right? So I want to say that check your face right now. Maybe you just discovered you have a mole only today, right? So check on it. If you have a mole in your face anywhere, right, in your face, as long as you have a mole, type the word yes. I want to see who you are. Okay, all right. So, okay, a lot of you have mole. Very good. Okay, so then I talk about this. So the mole here, they appear on so many different places here. So let's talk about something here. Okay, let's talk about, since we're talking about health, right? So let's talk about a mole, on how does a mole can tell you something about your health as well. Because when you learn face reading on a deeper level, there are our face, certain part of face represents certain aspect of our life. So whenever we're talking about health, the nose, this part here represent your health palace. Yeah, so if you have a mole in this area, So which means that the health palace are obstructed, the chi is obstructed, which means that you might have lower immune system and your health is not so good, so you must take care early, so you can strengthen your, your body, right, and your health and your immune system. So this part here represent the health palace. So I want to check, is this area here, is there a mole, or maybe there's a scar, or there's a dent there, that might actually tell you information about your health. Yeah, so these are the part that we will talk about. Okay, so that is the mole. So how about other thing about the mole? So let me just talk about one thing here. A lot of people ask the question, is about whether your children are filial or not, right? So if your children is filial, yeah, okay, all right. So if the children is filial here, I think there are some disruption on the internet now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, all right. So while yeah, they're waiting for this thing to fix here. So I want all of you here to take note on your face here. Do you have a mole in your behind of the ears or not? Yeah, so you now to check. Yeah, because a mole, if you have it behind of your ears, this indicates that you're very filial children. Then you actually, your parents are very important to you. You got to take care of your parents, yeah, during their old age. So not only your parents, right? I think all of you here don't care about your years, right? You want to check on your children's years, right? So if the children's years you discover there's a mole, behind here, yeah, this is a filial mole. They tell you that this person here, their parents are very important to them, and then they'll do whatever it takes, to take care of them during their old age. So we actually like this a lot. Okay, all right. So now I hear also a lot of people asking about health and also wealth as well, right? So let's actually talk about one part here is about the wealth as well. Yeah, this is a very, very important topic here that a lot of people concerning, because the moment someone say they want to change their destiny, they're actually talking about one thing, right? Yeah, how do they increase money? Because a lot of things that we want in life will become easier to achieve. Yeah, the moment we have a more money capacity, right? A lot of people want a better health. Don't you think if you have more financial capacity, you can get the best doctor? A lot of people say they want to have a better future for their children. Don't you think you have more financial capacity, you can send your children to a better school, right? So that is a part that you can actually look into, right? So now, how do you know that this is important, right? So this one more we're going to talk about on the next session, on the, I don't know, second day or third day or until the seventh day, right? So we'll talk about that. So how now? You want to do this? Okay, all right. So now, I think a lot of you here want to know something about health. Okay, why not? I decided we do it now. Are you okay with this? Right, we're going to do it now about we're talking about wealth aspect. Because in someone's face, you might ask a question, right? How do I know someone whether they are rich or not? Have you occurred at this question? Do you have a wealthy face to look at? Right? So in face reading, you have a way to find out. So let's go through the first part here of assessing someone's wealth capacity. So whenever we're talking about wealth capacity, the way to assess wealth is same, regardless whether you're male or female, right? It's the same technique, right? So how do we do this? So whenever we're talking about your wealth capacity, we always look at your nose, right? Their nose here. So before we start on this, let me explain to you the concept about generating wealth. Yeah, this is one thing I learned from my mentor. Yeah, and then he told me that because the time I asked him that how do you generate immense wealth in your life? And then he told me, Iverson, it's very simple. All you need to do here is just to follow 3 steps, right? And I'm going to share with you right now. Right, so yeah, so that's my style here. Yeah, I won't hold any information. I'll share with you everything I knew here. Yeah, so the first thing I will share with you is about the lesson or the wisdom that I learned from my mentor about wealth creation. Are you ready for this? Right, so and you later realize it's very profoundly simple. There are only 3 steps. He told me this. Iverson, the first step here about wealth creation is first step here is about making the money. That means that, you go to work, you're making money, right? You get salary by the end of each month or every week, right? So, or you run your own business, you make profit, you make the money, right? So the second part here, and then the second part here, we're talking about once you make the money is the first part. The second part here is about locking, about saving money. This is very important, right? Because it doesn't matter how much money you make, if you cannot save it, you cannot becoming rich. And the third step here is about what? It's about the growing the money. Yeah, growing the money, because this is to be talking about investment. So these are the cycle that we need to do repeatedly to create more wealth, right? So in the face reading, so it's very easy to see this. So let me just share with you a very quick one here. How do we actually see this on face reading? Yeah, so let me see. So let me draw on the iPad right now. Okay, so ready. So let's see here. So if you can see here, so let's say whenever we assess someone's health, your wealth, we look at the nose, right? So this is nose here. So remember we talk about the first step here, we're talking about making money. There are three steps, right? The first part is about making money. The second part is about actually locking the money or saving the money. The third part is about growing the money. That's where the investment coming from. So whenever we want to observe someone from the aspect of making the money, we always look at the nose tip. This part here, this one represent the making of the money, right? So if this part here is flashy and is bouncy, is meaty, which means that they are very good in making money. So first part is about making. Right, that's where you go to work or creating a business. It's about making money. So the second part here, we're going to talk about is about saving the money, right? The saving the money got to do with your nostril. Have you seen someone nostril exposed? The moment you expose means that the wealth tree is leaking out, means that you're bad at saving money. So your main problem here is to learn how do you actually save more money. So have you seen someone nostril exposed, right? The moment you look at them, at the eye level, you see the nostril exposed. Here it's got to do with this part here, So this is your nostril. And then the third part here, this is the second part, is about locking money. So what is considered a good nostril? The good nostril means that the nostril is not exposed. It's actually facing down. You cannot really see the nostril. That one represents someone that very good in saving money. And then the third part about growing money, right? Or about investment. So these are the nose wing here represent your investment or your ability to grow the money that you have. Therefore, if this area here is strong, means it's flashy, and then it's white, this tells you that you're very good in actually growing and you use the money to make more money. So we are looking at an entrepreneur. All right. So again, this is just the first introduction about face reading. And then I hope you like this way of reading the chart. And it's very easy, right? Okay. Now let's go to the most awaited moment. Yeah, is where we're going to give some prize giveaway for now. Okay, so let's see who is the lucky one today. So let's see what we're able to give today. Which one first? Okay, all right. So now, as promised, at the beginning of the session here, I'm going to have three prizes to give away today. So let me show you the first one here. So first of all, are you excited about this or not? All right, so let's see here. So, okay, now, these are the first one here that we're going to talk about is this book here. I'm going to give away this book. Now, let me just give you some introduction about this book here. This book is about, it's written by Dato' Joey himself. And then this book is teach you how do you actually analyze your face from the start, So we have a lot of detail about explanation here, a lot of picture here of faces of the different features. All of this here is listed here. Yeah? So this is a very good book to start. So now, how are you going to get this? Yeah? So it's very simple. I'm going to ask a question, and then all you need to do is to actually reply on the screen right now. Yeah, on your chat box right now. So now, I'm going to ask a question. Yeah, so I want you to listen attentively, and this is how the question goes. For a female, which features of your face that represent the marriage palace? Okay. I check on the, I'm waiting for a response right now. Okay, so the answers keep coming in. Okay, so let me see who is the one. Okay, so the winner here, because we do this randomly, a lot of you get the answer right here. So the winner here is PH Tan, PHTN and Tan here. So what will happen here right now is the team here going to actually contact you shortly, right? So, and then they're going to arrange for the gift for you. Yeah, congratulations to PH Tan. Okay, all right. I think all of you here get it right. Here, his nose, very good. Okay, so now let's move on to the second prize giveaway for tonight. Right, so and then tonight, the second prize here is a lot of people like to discuss. Is one black thing called the mole. Right, so this book here is written by Tato Joey, and this whole book here talking about nothing but the mole itself. I know a lot of people like this, right? So everything here is about the mole. Which position represent what meaning? Whether it the nose. So I like this book a lot. I read it so many times, and then now, one of you here might able to get this book tonight, right? So let me ask you the second question here. For which part of your face that actually govern fertility for a female? This is a question. Okay, let me look at the screen right now. Okay, let me repeat again. Which part of your face for a female that represent the fertility aspect? Okay, I'm reading all the questions right now, and then they're going to select the correct one. Okay. Wow, so many of you here answer. Let's see here. It's coming in more and more. Okay, so the winner here is really because we do this random. All the answer that you answer correctly, most of you get the answer correct, right? But we only can select one winner here. So the lucky one here for tonight is Cindy Lim. Right, so Cindy and LIM, yeah, Cindy Lim. Okay, congratulations. Okay, all right. So now, this, if you don't get it, if you're not selected, don't get disheartened, because we always reserve the best for the last, right? So I just been told this, the third prize of giveaway today is not a book. Yeah, it's not a book, but it's rather is a Butter personal consultation one-of-one with me here. Right, so I'm going to read your chart here, be it your face or be it your Butter chart or achievement chart. So we're going to spend like 1 hour's session here. We talk about your destiny, what you want. I'm going to figure out how do you get you there. These are the things I do every day with my prestige client. To help them. They are from different walks of life. Be it business people or professionals, so this is what I do daily, and I'm passionate on doing this, and I'm going to offer this one-time free astrology consultation one-on-one with one of the lucky one tonight. So would you like to have this or not? Right, first of all, if you like to have this, wow, a lot of people already responded. Okay. So but bear in mind, because this is a personal session here, so we need to schedule a time, right? Because some of you here might need to actually, we need to book the time, that because we have a lot of clients, actually on a waiting list, so which means it's not easy to get, but one of you is going to get it tonight, right? So let's see who is the lucky one tonight. So how do we do this? So now, I'm going to ask you a question, right? So if you pay attention, this should be very easy. Remember, we talk about the art of making money. There are 3 steps, right? The first part is about making money. The second step is about locking the money, which means saving the money. And then the third step here is about growing the money, right? So now, which part of the face that represent the first step, making the money? There are only 3 possible answers. Is it the nose tip, or is it the nostril, or is it the nose wing? Which of these 3 parts here represent ability to making money? Okay, so I see a lot of you answer here coming in. Wow, okay. So let's see who is the lucky one tonight. Wow, so many people. So the team here now going to press a button. So they're going to select one of you here. So the selection here are purely random. So all of those correct answer will be actually taken into consideration. Okay, let's see here. So have we get one yet? So the team are now figuring it. Okay, so now they already get the answer. Do you know who is this? Okay, let me announce. Drum roll, please. So the winner here for tonight for a personal one-on-one consultation with me here, the lucky one here is Winnie Chua. So Winnie Chua is a person here that entitled for this. So congratulations to you. So this is Winnie, WINNEIE. All right. Okay, cool. So congratulations to Winnie here. So the team going to contact you and they're going to arrange a personal consultation with you here. So I'm going to talk to you. If you are in Kuala Lumpur, I can talk to you live, or even you are from overseas. I think a lot of students from overseas, we can actually set up an online video conference with you to actually discussing your chart one-on-one. Okay, all right. So I'm looking forward to meet you, and I congratulations to all these 3 winners here tonight. And for the rest of you here, don't get disheartened, because we have more prizes to give up for the next 6 days. So what you do now here tonight here, is to actually tidy up the notes and then practice with your family here. And then the thing here is, you need to check the PM. For the winners, you need to check the PM from the chat box, right? So the team here actually going to contact you via the personal message on the chat box. So you stay on there, they're going to contact you. So for now, I would say that for those people that don't able to get a prize here, don't worry. There are more prizes giving up for the next 6 days here. So I want to actually pay attention to the session tomorrow, because tomorrow's session I heard that is have a lot of interesting content. Right, so which will be beneficial to you, because right now your level of face reading are not level 0. I've just gone through to you, the fundamental of face reading, which in fact a lot of people they need 1 month to do it. Now you're going to learn it within 1 hour. So therefore, your level of face reading right now already increased to level 1.0. And you're going to get more and more the moment you go through the next day and the day after. All right. So right now, I hope you enjoyed the session. That I shared with you for the last more than 1 hour here. And thank you for your time to logging in here. And remember, tomorrow we're going to conduct this online summit at the same time at 8:30 p.m. GMT +8. And then we're going to meet a lot of other interesting panel speakers as well. And Dr. Joey will share with you more information about how do you actually make face reading the best powerful tool for you to create a new destiny and transformation. So have a great evening today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Right, so we're going to see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. So have a great evening or good morning to some of you from the other country, and see you again. Have a best life.